Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets and drama. Today we're going to be talking about 5 queens who have been banned from Drag Race or have had some kind of beef with the show, including Max, Enorma Jean and Delta Work. All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. Max competed on season 7 of Drag Race US and placed 9th. Max actually had a pretty good run on the show. Max generally received positive critiques from the judges, and the only negative critique Max ever got was from Michelle, saying that her grey hair and makeup were getting repetitive. However, in episode 7, which was the Snatch Game, Max portrayed season 4 winner Sharon Needles and did not do a very good job. Then, during the main stage critiques, Max was shown to loosen her corset and production stopped and members of the production crew came over to help Max. They then cut to a shot of Max sitting down on the steps of the stage and singing a song which Michelle didn't look very impressed at. And on the show they made it look like Max was just taking advantage of the moment and was causing some drama and being a diva. After the show aired in 2015, Max said that the edit made her look crazy and that it didn't exactly happen the way that it was shown. In an interview with Joseph Shepard, Max said that she felt faint and her corset was uncomfortable, and the producers had told them previously that if they ever felt unwell, they should let them know, which is what Max did. Max said that it was actually RuPaul who asked her to sing something, presumably to try and take Max's mind off it, or it was a reference to the Judy Garland movie A Star Is Born, where Judy sits on the edge of the stage and sings. Max said that she was surprised that the show decided to keep that part in and questioned what their motives were. And Max also wondered whether the show was trying to add in an element of unlikability about Max because she was in the bottom that week and that would have justified the judge's decision. Also back in 2018, Max tweeted saying, "I would love to be back in the game. I would love to be back on VH1. I would love to be verified and gigged and all that comes with it. I simply have not been cast and I do believe casting is closed." And another time she tweeted saying, "And I ain't gonna be on All Stars anything because 1, they haven't called, and 2, why willingly place yourself around untrustworthy people?" So because Max has been slightly critical of the show on multiple occasions, and she has also said that she wouldn't go back on, this is maybe why she has not been asked to be back on Drag Race again. Willem competed on season 4 of Drag Race US and was disqualified from the competition in episode 8. I think for many Drag Race fans, when you think of queens that have been banned from the show, Willem is probably one of the first queens you'd think of. On season 4, Willem did very well. In episode 8, which was the Frenemies episode, Willem and Latrice were partnered together and ended up winning the challenge, with Sharon Needles and Fifi O'Hara landing in the bottom and lip-syncing. However, Willem was called forward and RuPaul said that it had been brought to their attention that Willem had broken the rules and that Willem was disqualified from the competition. And then, at the finale episode, everyone asked, what did Willem do? And the story that Willem said is that she was receiving conjugal visits from her husband, and that's why she was eliminated. However, since then, Willem has said that that story was made up, and that she only agreed to go along with it because she wanted to get on All Stars. Willem has talked about this in several interviews, and on her podcast as well as in a series of tweets that are pinned on her Twitter. Willem explained that she actually wanted to get kicked off the show so that she could go and star in a musical at the Fringe Festival. So she was deliberately breaking the rules and telling production what she was doing, such as stealing things from set like shoes and feathers, as well as having a computer. Willem also went on to explain that she slept with one of the producers of Untucked during a show in New York, and they had sex in the bathroom and were eventually thrown out. Apparently Willem then had lunch with this producer, who said he was trying to get Willem back in with World of Wonder, but nothing came of it. Willem also confirmed that she was booked to be on All Stars 1, but then at the last minute she was cancelled and she was annoyed about it because she had turned down lots of paid work to clear her schedule. Since then, Willem has repeatedly criticised RuPaul and the show, and apparently Willem once yelled at RuPaul in the street and RuPaul told Willem to F off. Willem has also said that RuPaul is out of touch and has continued to spill lots of backstage tea on her podcast Race Chaser with Alaska, as well as in other interviews. So because of all of this, it's probably unlikely that Willem will ever be appearing back on Drag Race anytime soon. Enorma Jean. Please make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell to be notified for my future videos. Enorma Jean competed on season 1 of Drag Race Italia and was eliminated in episode 4 due to bad behaviour. For anyone that didn't watch Drag Race Italia, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what happened. Enorma had had several disagreements with other contestants throughout her run on Drag Race, and she had voiced her opinion several times, which caused a lot of tension. In Untucked of episode 3, there was a huge argument between Enorma and most of the rest of the cast, especially Avant-Garde. At one point, Enorma started shouting and swearing at members of the production team and stormed off set.
Tu, voi autori, a me a 46 anni, mi potete mettere in mezzo a queste Una competizione sta
In the next episode, which was Snatch Game, after Snatch Game Challenge had been done, Enorma and Avant-Garde were asked to come to the main stage and the rest of the cast were watching backstage. The judges said that as punishment for their inappropriate behaviour towards the production staff, Enorma and Avant-Garde had to lip-sync for their life and one of them would be eliminated from the competition. In the end, Avant-Garde won the lip-sync and Enorma sashayed away, and the other contestants seemed happy that Enorma had lost. After the show aired, Enorma went live on Instagram and explained what happened. According to Enorma, the other queens ganged up on her and conspired to get her kicked off. Enorma alleged that the queens deliberately started arguments with Enorma to make her look bad and to trigger her. Enorma also said that she didn't think that she did anything wrong. And in fact, Vanessa Van Cartier, who was the winner of Drag Race Holland Season 2, joined Enorma in the live. And for any of you wondering why, Vanessa is actually of Italian origin and she speaks Italian fluently. Anyway, on the live, Vanessa actually defended Enorma and supported her and said that Enorma didn't really do anything wrong. A few months later, Enorma posted on her Instagram story that Priscilla, who is the host of Drag Race Italia, had blocked her on Instagram. In the post, Enorma criticised Priscilla, effectively calling her fake and, quote, "She invited me to feel ashamed of myself. I hope she will be proud this month." There have also been some allegations on Reddit and other forums saying that Enorma is problematic and has used transphobic language in the past. However, I couldn't find any concrete evidence of this. So it appears as though Enorma is unlikely to return to Drag Race due to her behaviour on set, and especially if the host of the show has blocked her. Pearl. Pearl competed on Season 7 of Drag Race US and placed runner-up. Throughout Season 7, there was a storyline that Pearl needed to, quote, wake up, and that she wasn't trying hard enough. However, this seemed to turn around as the season progressed and she made it to the final 4. One of the moments Pearl is probably best known for is during episode 5, which was the Despy Awards, where Pearl was partnered with Max. There was a tense moment between Pearl and RuPaul in the workroom when RuPaul said that Pearl didn't have a strong personality. Pearl seemingly didn't take kindly to this and snapped back at RuPaul, and there was an uncomfortable stare-off between Pearl and RuPaul. Pearl finally broke the silence by saying, quote, "Is there something on my face?" and RuPaul said that she wasn't convinced before walking away.
So there's something on my face?
Yeah.
Later in the episode, Pearl and Max ended up winning the challenge, and Pearl thanked RuPaul for giving her the smackdown she needed to wake her up. Pearl later talked about this infamous moment between her and RuPaul during an interview with Hey Queen. In the interview, Pearl said that before they even started filming the season, all the contestants had to film a segment where they recorded their own versions of RuPaul's songs. Pearl said that RuPaul was there, which was a surprise to the queens, and it was the first time Pearl had ever seen RuPaul, who she idolised. Pearl then went on to say that after they had filmed this segment, bearing in mind this was before they had even started filming season 7, the cameras had gone down for a moment, and Pearl took an opportunity to tell RuPaul how much she admired her. And apparently RuPaul responded by saying, quote, "Nothing you say matters unless that camera is rolling." And Pearl said that that was the reason why she had, quote, "one foot in, one foot out" for the entire competition, and she described RuPaul's comments as disrespectful and rotted. After the Hey Queen interview aired, Pearl appeared in an interview with Joseph Shepard where she confirmed that a producer from the show had called her and said that she would not be welcome back on All Stars because of the comments she had made on Hey Queen. And Pearl has also said on Instagram previously that she would go back on All Stars if she was asked. There was also a video uploaded to Pearl's YouTube channel where Pearl was doing her makeup whilst listening to RuPaul and Michelle's podcast What's the Tea? In the video, Pearl is sipping tea and spits it out when RuPaul and Michelle start talking about that moment in the workroom where Pearl said, "Is there something on my face?" In the clip, RuPaul says, quote, "When Pearl said that thing, do I have something on my face? This is what I was thinking. Because I'm a producer of the show, what I wanted to say was different from what I actually said." RuPaul then continued and said, quote, "What I really wanted to say was, let me help you pack your effing bags, B, because you're effing out of here now." RuPaul then went on to explain that because Pearl was a cute boy and Ru knew that Pearl was going to be popular on the show, she didn't want to go off on her. And in the video, Pearl is clearly making faces at what Ru and Michelle are saying and implying as though Ru and Michelle are being hypocritical. So given the comment made by the producer that called Pearl and said she wouldn't be welcome back on All Stars, as well as some of the other things Pearl has said about RuPaul on the show, it appears as though she might not be appearing on Drag Race anytime soon. Delta Work. Delta Work competed on Season 3 of Drag Race US and placed 7th. Some of you may know this already, but after Delta competed on Season 3, she started working as RuPaul's hairstylist from the second episode of Season 9, and Season 2 contestant Raven took over as Ru's makeup artist. This was because RuPaul's previous makeup artist, Matthew Anderson, had apparently quit suddenly during the start of Season 9 after a dispute. Anyway, Delta worked as RuPaul's hairstylist, and her and Raven actually received an Emmy nomination for their work on Season 9. However, this nomination was later rescinded because the nomination was for Season 9 Episode 1, but Delta and Raven hadn't started working for RuPaul at that point because they only started in Episode 2. It's quite a complicated story, but the YouTube channel Green Gay did a really good video about this, which you should definitely check out if you want a full explanation of the story, and I'll put a link to the video in the description. Anyway, to cut a long story short, Delta was eligible to win an Emmy for her work on Season 10, but she was told that she would have to join a union in order to qualify. Raven agreed to join the union, but Delta refused and said that she couldn't afford the membership fee, which was approximately $5,000. Delta then reportedly was fired from the show, or her contract was simply not renewed. It's down to interpretation, but either way, she no longer works for the show. In fact, in an interview with the podcast Race Chaser, Delta claimed that the producers failed to nominate her for her work on Season 10 and then ceased any communication with her when it came time to work on new seasons of the show. And Delta actually left a comment on Green Gay's video giving some further explanation. She said, quote, "The production company chose to erase me and hide behind the policy that each production company can remove whoever they want from an Emmy nomination." Delta also said, "I believed in them, but not one person stood up behind me to say that I was right." And then she ended the comment by saying, "Everybody say love, I guess." And Delta has also made other critical comments about Drag Race, such as during an interview with Hey Queen, where she said that there was a lack of diversity on Drag Race and that the show should be more inclusive to different types of drag. So because of all of these reasons, there seems to be some bad blood between Delta and the show, so it seems unlikely that she'll ever be asked back on the show. Carmen Carrera. Carmen Carrera appeared on Season 3 of Drag Race US and placed 5th. After Cameron appeared on Drag Race in 2011, she came out as transgender in 2012 and no longer considers herself to be a drag queen. Carmen has gone on to become a successful TV personality, model, actress, as well as a transgender activist. Carmen's run on Drag Race was pretty good and she almost made it to the final 4, and many people expected her to come back for an All-Stars series at some point. However, Carmen has been vocally critical of RuPaul and the show in the past. For example, in March 2014, in an interview with Advocate, Carmen said that the use of the term she-male, quote, just wasn't cool, and she said that RuPaul and the show should know better. And then later in 2015, there was some more controversy about trans representation on Drag Race after the mini-challenge in season 6 called Female or She-Male was removed from the show after it received backlash. Just to explain for those of you who may not have seen it, the mini-challenge consisted of contestants being shown a zoomed-in photo of someone, and the contestants had to guess whether it was a, quote, biological woman or psychological woman. The mini-challenge drew a huge amount of controversy, with people saying it was insensitive to the trans community and was transphobic. The backlash led to RuPaul defending his use of certain words, which were labelled transphobic, and RuPaul had also said in the past that he didn't think trans contestants should be able to compete. But RuPaul later seemingly backtracked on these comments, and Drag Race has now had several openly trans contestants. And the show has changed some of the wording they use, such as she-male is now called Ru-male, and the title sequence song used to say, let the best woman win, and now it says, may the best drag queen win. However, during the time when RuPaul was defending his opinions on trans contestants, Carmen made several critical comments about RuPaul. For example, Carmen also said once on Twitter, quote, why are people still shocked that at RuPaul's Drag Race are not an ally to the trans community? What have I been telling you for years? WTF lol, the bleep they put me through, and then all y'all supporting their bull bleep like LeMayo, come on now. And in another tweet, which has since been deleted, Carmen said that, quote, RuPaul is the Hitler, false prophet, antichrist of the LGBTQ community. So because of these critical comments that Carmen has made about RuPaul and the show, it would appear that she is likely to be banned from ever competing or appearing on Drag Race again. Although I doubt Carmen would want to be on Drag Race again anyway, because she no longer considers herself a drag queen and she has had a successful career outside of drag. Courtney Act. Please make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell to be notified for my future videos. Courtney Act appeared on season 6 of Drag Race and made it to the final 3. Courtney did well on her season and has gone on to become one of the most successful queens from the show. She has appeared in multiple TV shows such as Big Brother and Dancing with the Stars, as well as having a successful music career. However, many people have wondered why Courtney has not appeared on an All-Stars season yet. In an interview with Metro in June of 2020, Courtney was asked about All-Stars and she said, quote, I have not been approached. I haven't had the opportunity to decline. I love Drag Race so much, I loved being on it and I love watching All Stars, but I would decline because I've worked so hard to build up my career and what I do, and it's very important to me. Courtney also echoed this sentiment in an interview with Digital Spy in July of 2020, where she said that she hasn't been asked to be on All Stars, but she would say no because, quote, I've worked so hard at getting my career to where it's at that handing over my image to the Drag Race producers is not something I'm willing to do. And Courtney also implied as though she didn't feel like she was treated very well by the show during season 6. In her memoir called Caught in the Act, which came out in November of 2021, Courtney admitted that she felt hurt by what had happened at the season 6 finale. To give some backstory, at the Drag Race finales, to avoid spoilers getting leaked, each of the finalists has to film themselves winning, and then in the final edit, the producers only use the footage for the one queen that actually won. For example, as we all know, Bob the Drag Queen won season 8. However, the footage of the other finalists, namely Kim Chi and Naomi Smalls, filming their winning speeches has since been leaked.
Is there anything you'd like to say? Wednesday!
It's been confirmed by Bianca Del Rio in an interview with Joseph Shepherd that at the season 6 finale, Bianca, Adore and Courtney each had to film themselves winning. However, Bianca added that they also filmed a tie between Bianca and Adore, so it was obvious that Courtney was not going to win. In her memoir, Courtney said that she felt, quote, intentionally publicly humiliated during that experience. Courtney also said that RuPaul had bluntly told her once that she lacked humanity. And Courtney also said that she wanted to include more scandalous backstage tea from Drag Race in her memoir, but ultimately decided not to include it because she thought it would be in bad taste. And similarly, in September of 2022, Courtney was asked in an interview with Pink News if she would ever be interested in being involved with Drag Race Down Under because Courtney is Australian. Courtney replied by saying, quote, yeah, absolutely. I emailed the heads of World of Wonder when I got a whisper of Drag Race Down Under, the first season, and I said, I'm in Australia, I'm available, I love the show, I'd love to be involved, but the ball's in their court. So it appears as though Courtney has ruled out being on All Stars, but it's unclear why she has not yet appeared on Drag Race Down Under, even though she has expressed interest in it. One potential reason might be because Courtney has previously criticised RuPaul for his views on trans contestants, and she was eventually blocked on social media by RuPaul. So we'll have to wait and see if Courtney appears on any future episodes of Drag Race or Drag Race Down Under, but the reason that she hasn't been asked is unclear, but it might be because she's banned because of the comments she's previously made about RuPaul and the show. Sherry Pie. Sherry Pie competed on season 12 and made it to the final 4, but was disqualified from the competition when the show began airing. Sherry Pie is one of the contestants that is very much clearly banned from Drag Race because of what she did. A week after season 12 had begun airing, it was announced on the official Drag Race social media accounts that Sherry Pie had been disqualified because of recent developments and her statement from Facebook about the claim she sexually exploited several men. The show also explained that out of respect for the other contestants, they were going to air the show as normal, but they were going to limit showing Sherry Pie where possible, and also confirmed that Sherry would not be in the grand finale. Just to give you a brief overview of what Sherry Pie did for those of you who don't know, several male actors came forward and said that Joey, which is Sherry's name out of drag, had pretended to be a casting agent and coerced them into sending sexually suggestive videos of themselves under the guise of an audition. However, what they didn't know is that there was no actual job offer, and Sherry/Joey had been making up fake casting calls in order to get those men to send suggestive content of themselves to him. I'm not going to go through the full list of the allegations because some of them are quite dark. However, there is an article on Vox which details all the allegations, which I'll link to in the description so you can read more about it if you want to. Joey/Sherry posted an apology on social media on the same day as the disqualification, which many people didn't accept as they felt as though the apology was not genuine. After that, Sherry deleted her social media accounts and appeared to disappear from public life. However, there were reports that Sherry had been doing some live shows throughout 2020, which Sherry confirmed was true. Later, in February of 2021, Sherry/Joey appeared on the Tamron Hall show, where he talked about what he had done and said that he was sorry for his actions and that he was seeking professional help. And this interview drew a lot of backlash because people didn't think that Sherry/Joey should be given a platform to speak. And several of Sherry's victims had contacted the Tamron Hall show before the interview and asked them not to do the interview, but they did it anyway. Sherry seemingly reappeared on social media in April of 2022 and has been consistently posting photos on her Instagram account. Interestingly, most of the comments on the photos seem to be positive, so it's not clear whether the negative ones are being filtered out or deleted, or perhaps it's maybe because the comments have been limited. So it's unclear whether Sherry Pie will try and relaunch her career, but it is clear that she has been banned from Drag Race and is very unlikely to ever be asked back on the show. The Vixen. The Vixen competed on season 10 of Drag Race and placed 7th. The Vixen became a controversial queen on her season after having several feuds with other contestants including Aquaria and Eureka. And during the reunion episode for season 10, the Vixen was confronted by RuPaul and the others for her behaviour, and the Vixen walked off set and did not return. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight on the red carpet for season 10, the Vixen was asked if she would ever return for All Stars 4, which taped not long after season 10. However, the Vixen said that she was done and would not be returning. However, in an interview with Hornet in 2018, when asked about returning for an All-Stars season, the Vixen said, quote, "I think I need a little more time right now before I say I am ready to go back into the workroom. I would not rule it out though." And although no official ban has ever been given, it appears as though the Vixen may be less likely to be asked back on Drag Race because of the critical comments she has made about RuPaul. In an interview with Back From Reality podcast in 2020, the Vixen said that her and RuPaul had, quote, "no off-camera relationship." The Vixen followed this up by saying, quote, "I ran into her once at an elevator, it was a nod and she kept moving." The Vixen also criticised the show and said that they should be doing more to protect the queens who receive hate online, especially racially motivated backlash. And she also implied as though black queens on the show are often presented as, quote, "angry black girls." After her dramatic walkout during the season 10 reunion, the Vixen said that she refused to come back on set, and the producers insinuated as though she would be kicked out of her hotel room if she did not comply with them. And the Vixen also made comments about RuPaul himself, saying, quote, "Ru creates this platform, but when you look at the 40 white producers that accept an award with her, those are the people that she's really answering to." And she also said that RuPaul, quote, "doesn't see with empathy." In a different interview with In2, the Vixen said that when RuPaul asked her during the reunion whether she was stirring the pot to throw off the other queens, the Vixen said that she felt like she was talking to, quote, "a Reddit troll." And the Vixen also said that RuPaul's suggestion of staying quiet actually does more harm than good, and said that it's, quote, "a horrible message to people of colour." And World of Wonder was apparently contacted to respond to the Vixen's comments, but they declined to answer. So because of all these critical comments the Vixen has made about RuPaul and the show, it would be assumed that she is less than likely to be asked back on the show, but we'll have to wait and see. Tyra Sanchez. James William Ross IV, who used to go by the name Tyra Sanchez, competed in season 2 of Drag Race and was the winner. James was a slightly controversial winner at the time, with some people thinking that runner-up Raven should have won instead. And James actually retired from drag in March 2020. However, after several acts of controversial and threatening behaviour, it would appear that James has been banned from Drag Race. James competed on season 2 in 2010 and had appeared a few other times on Drag Race, such as in the first episode of season 8 in 2016, which was a photo shoot. James had always been quite outspoken on Twitter and had developed a slightly controversial reputation among fans. But it was really in 2016 that things started to go downhill for James. In August of 2016, a Twitter user made a critical remark about James, calling him annoying, and James responded by saying, quote, "Girl, kill yourself," which drew a huge amount of backlash from people online. James refused to apologise for the comment, and many users said that suicide is high among LGBT+ youths, so you shouldn't joke about killing yourself. James responded by saying, quote, "I have no sympathy for people that commit suicide. They're cowards. They give up and give in. Stop tweeting me about it." After this incident, several petitions were started to remove Tyra as the winner of season 2 and crown Raven instead, which received thousands of signatures. RuPaul didn't comment on this for a while, but eventually on his podcast defended James and said, quote, "People don't get nuance on Twitter, you can't do irony on Twitter, people won't get it." Then, in 2017, James drew even more controversy when he posted a fake obituary for fellow season 2 contestant Morgan McMichaels, joking that Morgan was dead even though she wasn't. Apparently, the reason for this is because James had made a few critical comments about Raven on social media, but both James and Raven were booked to do a Morgan McMichaels birthday show shortly afterward. Apparently, Morgan tried to pull out of the show, presumably because she didn't want to work with James, but the management decided to let James go instead, which is why James was angry at Morgan. Later in a Facebook post, Morgan explained the situation and said, quote, "Tyra, you are welcome to come back into the fray when you grow the F up. I didn't want to work with you because you're poisonous, you're vicious." But the real drama then happened in 2018 when James was banned from attending DragCon. Prior to this, James had made a video online where he made threats of violence against Season 2 contestant Tatiana and Season 4 contestant Fifi O'Hara because of an ongoing feud they had been having. Fifi shared James's threatening video and tagged DragCon saying, quote, "This isn't how any decent human acts. "This is someone unstable and needs help. At RuPaul's DragCon, she shouldn't be allowed to attend." Shortly after, James posted a screenshot of an email he had received from World of Wonder, which said that James wouldn't be allowed to come to DragCon unless he made an apology. James said that he had already apologised previously and he would not be apologising again. Then, shortly before DragCon started, James posted on Facebook saying, quote, "Fair warning, do not attend RuPaul's DragCon on May 12, 2018. Don't say I didn't warn you." And on James's official website, there was a countdown to DragCon with the acronym BOOM at the top of the page, which many users interpreted as a bomb threat against DragCon. Several users reported James to the FBI. However, it appears as though no charges were brought against James because nothing happened at DragCon and it was clearly just a bad joke. James has since apologised for his behaviour, and it seems as though many fans didn't accept his apology, and James officially retired from drag in 2020. In September of 2022, James announced on social media that he would be returning under the name King Tyra and linked to an OnlyFans account. So, it's unclear whether James will be returning to drag. However, from his past behaviour and the ban from DragCon in 2018, it seems that James is not likely to be competing on any future seasons of Drag Race again and is probably banned. Tamisha Iman. Tamisha Iman competed on season 13 and placed 11th. Tamisha came into the competition already being a very experienced and highly regarded queen. However, she had previously struggled with some health issues and had an ostomy bag after battling stage 3 colon cancer. In fact, Tamisha later confirmed that she was supposed to be on season 12, but due to her health issues, she had to pull out. On season 13, Tamisha was quite outspoken and she clashed with a few of her fellow cast members. Most notably Candy Muse, when the two of them had a heated argument in Untucked, which has gone down as one of the most explosive fights in Drag Race history. Since her appearance on Drag Race though, Tamisha has been involved in several controversies, and she has also made negative comments about the show, which may mean that she will never be asked back. Let's go through that now. So, one of the first issues that happened with Tamisha was that she fell out with most of her castmates. After season 13 finished, Tamisha seemingly had issues with most of the queens, and she blocked pretty much every queen on social media. Fellow season 13 queen Denali once tweeted that Tamisha blocked half the cast, and she also tweeted saying Tamisha had blocked her. Even Lala Ree, who is technically Tamisha's drag daughter, also said that she was blocked by Tamisha. And a lot of this drama seemed to stem from the fact that Tamisha had accused Candy Muse and Gottmik of lying when they said that Elliot with 2 T's had said transphobic and racist things on set. And as of now, the only 2 people Tamisha is following are Elliot and Kimora. Tamisha also had a long and complicated feud with Monet Exchange and Bob the Drag Queen, which I talked about in one of my previous videos about queens who can't stand each other, which I'll link to in the description. The next issue with Tamisha was the issue of missing merch and accusations of scamming fans. So a few years ago, Tamisha had released a line of merch. However, multiple fans said they placed and paid for their orders, but the merch never arrived. Tamisha said the orders would be fulfilled, but there had been some production issues which caused delays. However, it seems that multiple people did not get their orders. An exchange on Instagram between Tamisha and a fan then happened, and I found screenshots of it on the RPDR drama subreddit. In the Instagram exchange, the fan criticised Tamisha for creating new merch when people were still waiting for the old merch orders to be fulfilled. Tamisha said the orders would be fulfilled, and then she seemingly sent this person a DM and said that if they put another comment like that on her thread, they would be, quote, very upset with me. The person replied to Tamisha saying they'd like the merch that they ordered or at least a refund, and Tamisha then apparently blocked them. This didn't seem to be an isolated incident, and many other fans complained about not getting their orders either. Something similar also happened when Tamisha announced that she would be launching the Tamisha Iman Network, which you could subscribe to for $25 per month to get exclusive content from Tamisha. However, the only content Tamisha posted was an interview with Candy Muse where they discussed their issues, and this video was later posted to YouTube for free anyway. So again, people accused Tamisha of scamming people out of their money. There were also a few other strange accusations made against Tamisha. So back in 2021, Tamisha was accused of having a secret Reddit account with the username Alabama Star. This Reddit user had pretty much posted exclusively about Tamisha and defended her across multiple different Reddit posts, and people started saying that Tamisha was defending herself using a burner account on Reddit. This user, Alabama Star, then published several Reddit posts as well as YouTube videos saying that they were not Tamisha and they were just a big fan of hers. However, people noticed that a lot of the wording in their posts and the videos seemed very similar to Tamisha's style of speaking. Some people even noticed that in the background of the video, you could hear Tamisha's voice, and it almost sounded like Tamisha was coaching the person on what to say.
By the fans. In fact, one of the fans' favorites not write any comments on it. Okay, so
this then started a weird conspiracy theory that Tamisha had coerced this person into making the video. There's a lot more to this story, but Bussy Queen did a very in-depth video about this, which I'll link to in the description. However, one of the main reasons why people think that Tamisha may be banned from Drag Race is because she has been critical of the show on multiple occasions and has also spilled backstage tea and talked about her NDA. Tamisha was known for going live on Instagram and YouTube, and that is where a lot of this stuff went down. In one of her lives, which happened around the time that season 13 was airing, someone asked Tamisha why she was not posting photos of her runway looks after her elimination. Tamisha said that if Drag Race wanted to see her looks, they should have kept her in the competition longer. However, Tamisha also revealed that production actually takes photos of all of the Queen's runway looks before the season even starts, so they know exactly what the Queens will be wearing for each of their runways every week. Tamisha said she believes that the show uses that information to then plan how the season will go, implying that the show is rigged. And that the more the season goes on, the more Tamisha feels that it is not a fair competition. She even once said that her NDA was expiring soon and she would be saying everything that she wants to say. However, I don't believe she ever actually did. On top of that, according to an article I found by Screen Rant, Tamisha apparently said that she didn't want to return for All Stars. I tried to find some corroborating evidence for this, but I couldn't find anything. However, it is possible that Tamisha may have said this during one of her many live videos, but as I said, I couldn't find anything to back this up. So overall, it does seem that Tamisha has become somewhat of a controversial queen, not only within the fandom, but also with her fellow castmates too. She has also openly criticised the show on various occasions, so it does seem unlikely that Tamisha will ever be asked to return to the show, and it's possible that she's banned. However, only time will tell. Soju. Soju competed on season 11 and was the first queen to be eliminated. When Soju was cast on season 11, it was quite a big deal because Soju had a successful YouTube channel called Shot with Soju, where she would review episodes of the show with other queens. And so Soju was one of the first quote-unquote social media queens to be cast on the show. In fact, some people wondered whether Soju was deliberately cast on the show just so Drag Race could stop her from posting on YouTube by enforcing the NDA. And this rumour spread because Soju did stop posting on YouTube shortly after her appearance on Drag Race, although that may have just been a coincidence. But Soju later had some very serious allegations of assault made against her, which may have caused her to quit drag. We're now going to talk about this in a bit more detail, but I first just want to give a trigger warning that we will be discussing allegations of SA, and I want to make it clear that these are just allegations and Soju has so far never been convicted of these, so please bear that in mind. And for ease of speaking, I'm going to be referring to Soju using the name Soju and she/her pronouns, even though the allegations were made against Soju out of drag. So, according to an article in Out.com from 2021, a Twitter user came forward and said that when they were 17 years old in 2016, Soju had allegedly intimately assaulted them while they were, quote, blackout drunk and could barely walk. And after the allegations came out, several other people also came forward with similar allegations against Soju. According to one of the alleged victims, Soju pushed them beyond their boundaries, and they described Soju's behaviour as, quote, abuse, manipulation, and gaslighting. I won't go into the actual details of the allegations because some of them are quite graphic, but the allegations were that Soju allegedly coerced these people to perform certain intimate acts. And they also said that when Soju got on Drag Race, it was incredibly triggering for them because it brought back all of these horrible memories, and there seemed to be a pattern of behaviour. Soju then responded to these allegations in a statement that was emailed to Out.com, which has since been added to the original article. Soju said, quote, these claims were first brought to my attention by a contact asking for a large sum of money, threats that they would make my life difficult if I did not pay, as well as full admission their lawyer saw this case as an opportunity to spread her name. I have photographic proof of these attempts, among other evidence to point these claims have been orchestrated towards me, and I will share when my full case is prepared. Soju then ended the statement by saying, quote, I would never dismiss or diminish a victim's experience, but all of the current evidence presented indicates this has been a plan in the works for more than a year. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Soju then subsequently deleted a lot of her social media and was only posting photos out of drag. Then, a few months later, Soju posted an Instagram story that said, thank you for all the messages, just quick update for the people that are concerned about me. I have been diagnosed and I am getting professional help, please don't worry. To be honest, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but for my mental health, I won't be returning as Soju. I'm taking it day by day. Again, your messages have saved me from many dark nights, so again, thank you. However, it should be noted that I'm not sure if this Instagram story was specifically related to the allegations, or it may have been to do with something else. And as I mentioned earlier, during that time, Soju was only posting sporadically and out of drag. Then, about a year later, Soju posted an update sharing that she was in a new place in her life and she would be making new art, but probably not drag. And she said, quote, therapy and medication are lifesavers and I wish more Asians went to therapy. Some people then thought that this post was implying that Soju may be hinting that she would be returning to the public eye. However, it appears that since then, Soju has deleted all social media that I can see and has retreated from the public eye and has not been seen since. However, I did see that very recently, in August 2024, the Twitter/X account called Drag Crave posted that in a Twitter Spaces, which is a Twitter Live, Soju's Season 11 co-star Vanessa Vanjie had revealed that Soju will be graduating from law school this year. And this was the first update we had had about Soju in a long time. And although I couldn't find any evidence to corroborate this because I couldn't find any footage of the Twitter Spaces, this claim would make sense because in Soju's Instagram story in 2022, she said that she had been studying, so that may have been for law school. On the back of this Twitter post about Soju, a Chicago-based drag performer named Eva Styles posted saying that she used to be friends with Soju and she had even appeared on her YouTube channel. But she stepped away from Soju because, quote, I don't tolerate people violating gross actions like this. Eva also said that the last time she was on Soju's channel, someone left a $300 tip specifically for Eva, and Eva asked if she could have that tip, but Soju said no because she needed it for her channel, and Eva said she almost punched her. And so on the back of these allegations, plus the fact that Soju has seemingly quit drag, it would seem very unlikely that Drag Race would ever invite her back. Fans even pointed out that in 2022, the official Drag Race YouTube channel posted a compilation video called Every First Queen Eliminated. However, they have not included Soju in this video, and from what I can see, every first eliminated queen was included apart from Soju. Multiple people have also commented about Soju being left out of this video. And so this seems like even further evidence that Soju is unlikely to ever be asked back, and that Drag Race is even removing mentions of her where possible, implying that she may also be banned from Drag Race. India Ferrer. India Ferrer competed on Season 3 and placed 10th. And she also competed on All Stars 5 and placed 6th. Now, some of you may be thinking that India is clearly not banned from Drag Race because she was invited back for All Stars 5. However, the reason she is on this list is because of several controversies that India has been involved in after her appearance on All Stars 5. And these controversies may be why she has fallen out of favour with a big portion of the fan base, and may have also fallen out of favour with Drag Race itself. So I'll go through a brief timeline of the various controversies that India has been involved in. Back in 2012, which was about a year after India appeared on Season 3, India apparently made several critical comments about Drag Race in a since deleted Facebook post where she also said she was quitting drag. I wasn't able to find an actual screenshot of the Facebook post, however there is a transcript of it in an article by Screen Rant. In the Facebook post, India criticised the show and said, quote, "The creators, producers and writers have no clue what drag or the art form is actually about. This show gives not only the drag community, but also the gay community a bad name." India also alleged that other Season 3 queens took drugs during filming, but India did not succumb to peer pressure. She also said, quote, "I wouldn't get in little cliques to try and plot out a plan to sabotage others." She also described it as a, quote, "fake TV show that brought drag down," but she was thankful for the opportunity to be on the show. This Facebook post, plus the fact that she said that she was quitting drag, is one of the main reasons why people were so surprised that India was asked back for All Stars 5. As we saw on All Stars 5, India had a big feud with Derek Barry because of some mean comments that India had made about Derek's partner in the past. I did go through this particular feud in more detail in a previous video about queens who can't stand each other, which I'll link to in the description. Multiple other people have also had various feuds with India over the years, and it would take me too long to go through all of them, but let me know in the comments if you want me to do a video talking about all of these various feuds. And this is not the only backlash that India has received. For example, a screenshot was once shared on Reddit, which appeared to be a Facebook post where a user had said that they had ordered a lace off Temu, which is a Chinese low-cost e-commerce site, and the person was criticising the quality of the item. India then seemingly reposted that post and said, "In my day that's called a bleep." I don't want to say the actual word, but that word is a derogatory term used against Korean and Vietnamese people. And people in the comments heavily criticised India for using this racist term, and it looks like India subsequently removed the post. India was also accused of spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories about the 2017 Las Vegas shooting when a man opened fire on a crowd of people at a music festival from his hotel window. More than 400 people were injured and 60 people tragically died, making it the deadliest mass shooting by a lone gunman in American history. At the time, India started sharing articles about the shooting, which people criticised for spreading misinformation, and India later said she deleted the post because, quote, "I forgot that we live in the United States of America, where we have to pretend to know nothing and that whatever the news tells us is 100% real." Another interesting thing that you may not know about India is she is actually the drag mother of Season 15 contestant Anitra. The two of them are both Las Vegas queens, and there are multiple photos of them together. And in fact, in this Instagram post from 2019, which is still on Anitra's page, you can see that Anitra was performing at Piranha nightclub, which was India's home bar, and in the background it even says that Anitra's name is Anitra Ferrer. I couldn't find an exact reason as to why Anitra dropped the name Farah, but it appears that the two of them had some kind of falling out, possibly because of the controversies that India was involved in. On Reddit, some people were saying that when the season 15 spoilers started coming out about the cast, India was apparently posting stuff on Facebook which implied that Anitra was shady, although she didn't say her name, but people knew who she was referring to, and people accused India of clout chasing. However, I couldn't find any evidence of these Facebook posts, so these claims are unverified. I also checked, and as of today, neither India nor Anitra are following each other on Instagram. And so, because of all of these controversies that India has been involved in, it seems that she may have fallen out of favour with not only the Drag Race fandom, but also Drag Race itself. And some potential evidence of this is that in September 2023, the official Drag Race YouTube channel posted a video called Drag Race's Unforgettable Variety Show Performances, which was a compilation of the best variety shows from Drag Race, mainly from All Stars, but also some of the more recent seasons too. And every winner of the variety show from All Stars was included, except for India, who won the variety show on All Stars 5. Multiple people then commented about this in the comments because it seemed very obvious that India was not included. And so it seems that India may not have the best relationship with Drag Race and is therefore unlikely to return to the show. Nina Bonina Brown. Nina Bonina Brown competed on season 9 and placed 6th. On the show, Nina showcased her very creative style of drag and impressive makeup skills. And in fact, when the promo photos for season 9 first came out, Nina was voted fan favourite based purely on her promo photo. Nina did have some drama on the show. For example, in Untucked during the Roast Challenge episode, Nina said she felt like some people were calling her unoriginal, and she named Shea Coulee as one of them, which caused an argument between the two. At the reunion, Nina said that after her lip sync against Valentina, where Valentina didn't know the words, she got a lot of backlash from Valentina's fans, even though Valentina's elimination wasn't Nina's fault. The other queens also said that Nina had been saying rude things about other members of the cast in her videos. Despite Nina's obvious talents, she's become quite controversial over the years and has fallen out of favour with some portions of the fandom as well as some of the queens themselves. She has also made a few critical comments about Drag Race in the past, which may be why she has not been back for an All Stars. So I'm going to go through a few of the controversies that Nina has been involved in. So, back in 2017, which was when season 9 was airing, after Nina's lip sync against Valentina, Nina seemingly made some remarks about Mexicans, and fans called out these remarks as being racist. Nina apparently made these comments in a video titled Mexico Against Me, which has since been deleted. I couldn't find a copy of this video anywhere, but I did find some Reddit threads talking about the video, so I can't verify if these claims are true or not. But apparently Nina was saying that Mexicans were coming after her because they blamed her for Valentina's elimination. According to one Reddit user, Nina said, quote, "Why does it seem like most Mexican people are so gullible and like to believe everything they see or hear?" She also allegedly said that Mexicans are always trying to come to the US and asked where all the Mexicans were when Donald Trump was building the wall. I also did find an article by Instinct magazine from 2017, which had a screenshot of a Facebook post that Nina allegedly posted at the time and then deleted. What happened was that Nina had done a performance where she was lip-syncing to the song Greedy by Ariana Grande, which was the song she lip-synced to against Valentina, where Valentina didn't know the words and was wearing a mask. And at one point during the performance, Nina put her hand over her mouth, seemingly making a jokey reference to Valentina and the mask. And although the people in the audience seemed to enjoy it, it appears that Nina then got backlash from fans online, particularly Mexican and Latino fans. Nina then wrote a Facebook post which said, "And P.S. I don't know what it is about some of you Latino or Mexican fans. I don't know if it's an English barrier, but y'all can be so ignorant and slow. Not all of you, because I have great fans who are Latino and Mexican. You guys are getting mad over a lip sync video comparing it to attacking Valentina, when you Valentina fans should truly know what it is to attack people, you racist bleeps. Little do you all know, me and Tina were on 4 together. She's literally in the dressing room as I'm doing this song. She literally knew I was going to do this song before I did it, and guess what? She was okay with it because she's not a stuck-up stick in the mud like some of you quote fans. Build a bridge, get over it, or all of you haters hold hands and jump off it. Yeah, I said it, sue me. And this post obviously got a lot of backlash. In 2021, Nina also received a lot of criticism after she made some apparent transphobic comments about season 13 contestant Gottmik. While reviewing the season 13 Queen's outfits on her YouTube channel, Nina said, quote, "Of course Gottmik can wear this and still have curves, oh, we know why." Nina also apparently replied to a comment someone else had made about Gottmik, saying that her tuck was, quote, on point, and Nina replied to this comment and said, quote, "You know he has a lot of stuff to tuck. In the words of Gottmik, Gottmik was born a girl." Multiple Drag Race queens then called Nina out, including Jan from season 12, who said that Nina was, quote, horribly violent and shame on you. Season 11 winner Evie Oddly called Nina a, quote, hateful, bitter mess. And Jackie Cox from season 12 said that she was, quote, sad and disappointed by Nina. Multiple other queens, including Crystal, Cheryl, Sister Sister, Bimini, and many more, all called out Nina as well for making transphobic comments. Nina has also made a few critical comments about Drag Race itself as well. For example, back in 2020, Nina posted on Instagram and talked about Drag Race changing the tagline from "Gentlemen, start your engines and may the best woman win" to now the tagline is "Racers, start your engine and may the best drag queen win." Also the fact that they changed it from she-male to RuMale. Nina said in one way she liked the change, but in another way she didn't. She said, quote, "I mean, we are drag queens, not women, so I'm not too mad, but I also feel like this show is just thinking about money and selling out now, and it's a little soulless." Nina has also made a few jokes over the years about getting on All Stars. In 2018, Nina posted a jokey video where she was clearly reading a fake letter rejecting her from All Stars 4, but this was clearly just a joke.
And we are not putting you on because, well, for one, we just don't want you. You're irritating. You're always on live. You're always talking about people. You deserve to die 10 deaths. And burn, and burn, and burn.
Also, in 2021, Nina made a post on Instagram which appeared to be a screenshot of an email that a fan had sent her as a scam, pretending that she was being asked to be on All Stars 7, but it's not 100% clear what the context of this was. In the post, it said that WOW wanted Nina to come back for All Stars 7 and that she would be guaranteed a spot in the finale. It also referenced a video that had gone viral in the past when RuPaul was walking through DragCon and pointed at Nina but couldn't remember her name. And in the caption for the post, Nina said, "You messed up at RuPaul wants to apologise, but I admire the commitment. It's the LLC for me, lol. I wouldn't be surprised if some girls get this kind of email for real though." However, Nina once addressed why she won't be on All Stars and kind of implied that she had been asked to be on in the past but turned it down. In a video titled My Raw Thoughts on RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5, Nina said that she would not be going back to All Stars 5 even though so many fans have requested for her to go back. Nina then said, quote, "Let's just say it's by choice. I'm not saying I got a phone call, I'm just saying it's by choice. I'm not ready mentally, physically, all of that." Nina then followed this up by saying, quote, "Some people only want me to go on All Stars for drama. They say, somebody's gotta be the messy one, or we want to see what'll happen with Shea Coulee, or you have to be Black China. Just those reasons alone add to my doubt that I don't want to do it. Some people just want to see drama, and it's sad that you only see me as someone who's gonna start drama. When I think about season 9, I wasn't a drama starter." Nina then said that she wouldn't do All Stars 5 because Shea Coulee was on the season, and people would just want to see the two of them continue their beef from season 9. Nina added, quote, "If Shea Coulee is on All Stars 5, I didn't want to give people that, no. People already think Shea's the winner, and so people just want me to go on there to be her side story, to be her story arc. No, I am more than that. Whether you want to believe that or not, I am more than Shea's story. She has her own story to tell, so that was another reason why I chose not to do it." And from that last part, people thought that Nina was implying that she had been asked to be on the season, but she said no, although this is just a theory. More recently, Nina had Elliot with 2 T's as a guest on her YouTube channel, which got a lot of backlash because Elliot has been accused of making racist and transphobic comments on set during season 13, and fans said that Nina shouldn't be giving Elliot a platform. And so, due to all of the controversies that Nina has been involved in, as well as the critical comments that she's made about the show, and the fact that she may have also turned down All Stars in the past, it seems that Nina may not have the best relationship with Drag Race, and may therefore be unlikely to be asked back. Also, please remember that this video is for entertainment purposes only, and a lot of this information is not necessarily verified, and it's never okay to send hate to the queens, so please enjoy this video passively and do not take it as an excuse to be hateful to anyone. Thank you. Were you surprised by any of the queens on this list? And would you like to see any of these queens come back for an All Stars? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to get early access to my videos as well as have your comments featured in my Have Your Say videos, please check out my Patreon and consider supporting me. It goes such a long way to helping support my channel and I really appreciate it. And I'll put a link to my Patreon in the description. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to all of my Patreon members who are amazing and support me every month. Thank you so much for being part of my Patreon. I really appreciate it and I really do love my Patreon community. You are all legends. If you liked this video, please remember to like and comment on the video to help tell the algorithm that this is a great video, and make sure you hit the subscribe button because it really does make such a big difference to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me again in future videos. Thank you, bye!